Welcome to another off-the-line performance video. Today we have our aftermarket intercooler piping. We're going to be showing you guys how to install it and what color options there are available. All right, first things first, let's get into the unboxing. What you can expect when you purchase your OTL piping kit. We have the black kit, so it'll come with a few couplers, an elbow, and then you will see the beautifully powder coated black intercooler piping. All right guys, before we get started on the installation, it is important to note that you do not need to remove the front bumper. All you need to do is remove the belly shield. Let's go ahead and get this car raised up and get to the install. All right, so coming over to the passenger side of the car to start with, the intercooler piping you'll be using is this one right here. It has a little bit more bend in it, and then it also has the bracket. Now, this bracket was designed to go to the OEM location. The OEM location uses 2 bolts for its mount, but we just use the one, but it does go to the OEM location. So all you're gonna do is remove your worm clamps on the front, which is connected to your front mount intercooler. And then you just need to take off one there, and then come up to your turbo and take off the second one there. And then you'll be replacing it with this. Once you take the OEM pipe off, you can see how the coupler is oriented. It should look something like this once it is fully installed. So let's go ahead and get that pipe taken off, and then we'll install the OTL high flow one. Now we're gonna go ahead and move up to the turbo side and take that clamp off. And how you'll do that is to just reach up through this massive gap right here, and you can use a 1/4 inch or whatever you want, but the smaller the better. And it's gonna be right on top of your axle here. I don't know if you guys can see straight up top, but oh, I'm missing it. There we go, I'm on it now. Just undoing the worm clamp that is coming out of the turbo right now. All right, before removing that all the way, you're gonna go ahead and take out these 2 bolts that are in the OEM mount location, and then we'll be good to go. So same thing, 10 mil, and just get it behind it and go ahead and wrench it out. All right, once you have everything loose and all the bolts out, go ahead and remove that front pipe. Bring it down from your turbo. Just put that there. And there you have it. There's your driver's side intercooler piping. So the OEM compared to the OTL, as you can see, there are a few major differences, as there are not as many points in which it can essentially fail or air can roll over it and cause a disruption essentially. And as you can see here, there's also a step. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but there is a step where it goes from, it looks like a little bit thinner and it steps up here. So on the OTL one, it is just 2 inches all the way through. And that is gonna help a lot with flow. Also, the actual hoses that are used, these are just cheap, like radiator hose grade, I don't even know, latex or something. But ours are full silicone couplers. They're like 4-ply, they're super strong, they're ready for high boost and high heat. So a huge benefit, especially if you're gonna turn up your car, is to go with the hard piping kit. All right guys, so like I said with the orientation, when we pulled off the OEM intercooler piping, you could see that the 90 was actually facing you once you pulled it down. So we're just gonna go ahead and slide ours on just like that. There we go. And now ours does step down from I believe it's a 1.66 inch, which is the turbo outlet, to a 2 inch. And it flows into a 2 inch and then steps down to a 1.75, so it can go back into the OEM front mount intercooler. Or if you have the OTL front mount intercooler in the near future, it also retains the OEM size of 1.75 inches. So just go ahead and orient it just like that, just so it's facing the turbo once you get it in there. And without tightening anything down, we're gonna go ahead and slide this up there and see how it fits. Now that you have your intercooler piping with the correct orientation on your couplers, go ahead and just snake it up through to the turbo side first, and then just set it up there. And you're gonna wanna go ahead and install it onto your front mount before you put it onto your turbo side. So you're gonna wanna go ahead and just slide this onto your intercooler side first, all the way there. And the way you guys want to have your clamps positioned, you want to have them positioned so you can actually get at them from the top of the car. So I have it on the side facing up. That way you can just get a long extension down. It's the easiest way to do it. You can get it from the bottom, but it's just super difficult. So make sure you put it in that correct orientation there. And then moving on to the back side of the car, we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing how we took the original OEM piping off. We're gonna get our hand right back up in here and just connect it to that turbo side. And also guys, I have the turbo clamp in the same position that it was in the OEM location, which is gonna be on the bottom side of the hose facing the back of the car. That is gonna be the easiest way to get a wrench on it. Before you guys tighten anything down, make sure that you get your OEM bolt and you get it onto the mounting location, because if you do not, it'll be very hard to get that mounted up. If not, impossible. Now that you guys have your OEM bolt in, you're good to go ahead and tighten down all of the clamps on all of your couplers. So I'm gonna orient this one facing down and the one that is on the front mount side facing up. And then the rear, I'm gonna go ahead and have it, like I said, on the bottom of the coupler facing the back of the car. And the bottom one, I just went ahead and tightened before I even put it up there because there really isn't a great way to put it on. But if you really want to, have it facing away from the car. That way you can get a wrench up here and get it tight. So go ahead and tighten every single coupler down. We'll move to the front of the car where we will be replacing the factory plastic piping.
We recorded that, dude. Yeah, sawed it.
Oh, saw it.
Here, let's get this.
Yeah. Like I'm Ice Cube, dude. Like it's 2005. Hell yeah. All right, before you completely finish up the passenger side, go ahead and make sure that there is enough room between your tensioner belt and your intercooler piping. And as long as you have a finger in there where you can get by, then you're all good. Now, if that's good and you're all finished with that side, we can go ahead and move to the front of the engine where we will be replacing the driver's side intercooler piping. Now, this one is way easier. It should only take a second, but you're just gonna remove the worm clamp on the bottom on the front mount and then remove the worm clamp that is on your inlet up here. And that's all you gotta do. Remove the OEM one, go ahead and reinstall the OTL aftermarket high flow hard pipe, and you're all set to go. So let's go ahead and move to the front of the car and get that taken care of. All right, there is just one bolt that you guys have to take care of. I believe it is a 12 mil, but it is going to be discarded. You can put that in your parts file along with your OEM piping. So just go ahead and remove this one bolt under your worm clamps, and then you're all good to go. We went ahead and lowered the car down. You're gonna go ahead and hit this top clamp right here. And all I'm doing is just sneaking a screwdriver right behind that clip. And I'm just gonna loosen the clamp up. You can put a socket on it as well, and now we can go ahead and remove the pipe. There we go. And just like that, the OEM plastic piping is now out of the car. We can go ahead and put on our high flow OTL hard pipe. So now this hard pipe is going to sit in there just like this. You're gonna put a coupler on here, coupler here, and it's going to lay in the car just like that. So this end is going to go to your, this is the inlet housing, and then your bottom side is going to go into your front mount. It looks a lot cleaner than the OEM one. I mean, look at this. Plus, if you do the red intercooler piping, ooh, you'd really see it in your engine bay, 'cause I mean, it's gonna sit right in there. Oh, that red would look so good right there. Dang, we should have put red on the car, huh? That's okay. It's okay. We'll just do the install for the people. All right, now we're on to the front intercooler pipe, and you're gonna want to have this oriented exactly how I do. So your top clamps will be faced up like this in front of the car, and then your bottom clamps will be facing the bottom of the car. This is just complete ease of access, ease of use type of stuff. So once that's all done, we're gonna go ahead and slide this on the car just like so. So we're gonna snake that down through there. You can do this from the bottom of the car a little bit easier than you can the top of the car, but move that out of the way there. Okay, now, just gonna go ahead and slide that intercooler piping onto there. There we go. All right, and now for the bottom one, you guys can see this. Once that is on all the way up there, we'll just go ahead and match it on the bottom side here, and then we'll be all good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and raise the car up just so you guys can see a little bit better, but this is a quick tip for you guys. If this does not line up right away, you could be looking at an issue with your intercooler coupler up top not being together all the way, because the way our pipe is made, it should line up perfectly every time. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and pop this on here. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this in the past, but with our intercooler piping, if you actually take this side out completely, essentially what you're gonna do is open up the front mount, and then this will be able to come closer and it'll align properly. So you slide this out a little bit, and then you're able, normally, I'm gonna take this off, I think, completely. This is just if it doesn't line up. If it does, then you're fine, but there we go. Our piping is now on. You can go ahead and just put your bolts back in on this side. Because like I said at the beginning of the video, you do not need to take your front bumper off or your intercooler out. But if you are running into it being hard to go on or you're having fitment issues, you can always remove your front bumper and your intercooler, but it's not necessary. It just creates a little bit more work, but it's not that hard. So if you guys are having any alignment issues, that'll be the best way to do it, is to take it off, slide it on, and then just put it back on and you're all good to go. So after that is all done, all you're going to do is just tighten the rest of your worm clamps, and you guys have just installed your very own OTL hard pipe. If you guys are curious, these come in 3 different colors. They're on our website right now for, I believe, $249.99. These are a great addition to any car that you're planning on turning up the boost and making a lot of power with. It refrains from any sort of cracking or leaking because the OEM stuff is actually plastic, and the OEM couplers are a lot lower tier of a grade than ours. So ours are a lot thicker, they can handle heat a lot better, and they also can just be more resistant to putting a lot of boost through your car. I mean, I believe we made 30 pounds of boost. I believe we made 30 pounds of boost on our GRC, but we do plan on throwing an aftermarket turbo on it in the future. We'll probably be closer to 35, 40 PSI of boost running through the system. So these intercooler piping will be a huge upgrade and a must for the aftermarket industry. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Leave a like, go ahead and comment any questions you guys have, or shoot us an email, sales@offthelineperformance.com. For any sale questions, if you have support questions, it is support@offthelineperformance.com, and we'll be happy to help you guys out. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and we'll see you in the next one.